Hey everyone, Synthetic Future here, and today we're going to take a look at Felicity by Rigid Audio. This is a Kontakt library and it requires the full version of Kontakt. The Rigid Audio products are quite frequently on sale. Right now there's a sale on audio plugin deals as well. Not quite sure if this one is included, but they do go on sale pretty regularly. The base price is €55. I believe I picked this up in a pack with 5 other instruments for about $15, so they can drop considerably in price. This instrument is a wavetable based soundscape, atmosphere and texture library, and yeah, that's exactly what it does. It has all sorts of soundscapey atmospheric sounds in it. Just as a heads up, this is not a very tweakable library. It's very basic in operation, so I will be going through the operation and what all the dials and knobs do, but you will see there's not that much to play with. So if you are going to pick this up, you are really picking it up for the core sounds which are included in this thing. It does have 300 presets, so that's quite a bit. Downside being that they are not in any way categorized, so you are going to have to flick through all of them, and this being Kontakt, that can be a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. As you can see, the drop down menu does not work, so you have to forward and backward, or you can drag and drop a new instance over the loaded instance. Anyways, let's go over the controls. On the far left, you have your volume and your glide controls. Very basic. Volume, of course, is the volume. Glide is the amount of glide between two notes. So without glide, let's add some glide. Let's actually make the deck a bit shorter. Next to that, we get the attract, sustain, release, and this is for the volume, so you can make it a very short attack or a very long attack. Same goes for release. You can make this almost instantly. Let's turn off the reverb. There we go. Next to that, we get a filter with a cutoff frequency, a resonance, and a envelope. Now you can't actually tweak this envelope. This is just a set envelope, so not that much functionality here, but you can mess around with it a bit. As you can hear, it's stepping. Next to that, we get what they call motion, which sets how much the wavetable is being modulated. Again, you have no control over the modulator itself, only over the time of the modulator and the amount of modulation, so not the position or the shape of the modulator. You can also set it to manual to manually scroll through the wavetables. That's very unpleasant, so something is not going. It's pretty steppy. one thing you might notice is that there's a lot of volume differences in this. And there's also a lot of stereo stuff going on by default. That's not something you can actually influence, which can be a bit annoying. Let's put it to manual. So this stereo you are hearing right now is not something you can actually set up. This is just baked in. You have a gator. You can't set up the curves of the gate, it's just a preset gator, a drive function. Then there's the what they call flare effect. So this effect gives you resonating tuned delays, and this adds quite an interesting effect. Especially once you modulate the motion. And kick in the reverb. It gives pretty nice soundscapey effects. Your reverb has all the standard controls: diffusion, dampening, modulation, stereo, size, time, a pre-delay, and a mix knob. The size does the nice little kind of and that's all your basic controls. Now there are 300 patches in here, and I will upload a small sound demo as well. They are all in this kind of soundscapey place, which is to be expected for the type of instrument it is. They're all pretty nice, pretty rich sounding. Of course, the downside is they are pretty much as is. Of course, you can throw some external effects on it and mess around with them, but they are pretty preset in the type of sound. So they are pretty cool sounding. The big downside here being there's very little tweakability from the default interface. Of course, it's Kontakt, so you can dive in and go ham on the backbone of the instrument. But I'm just going to assume that if you're in the business of looking at these instruments, you're probably more interested in using the basic interface. In which case, I would say if you're looking for a library of interesting atmospheric sounds and soundscapey stuff, textures, just general kind of cinematic vibe stuff, this can definitely be useful. Just keep the limited tweakability in mind. I would say $55, probably a bit much for how much I would personally get out of it. However, with the frequent sales, and if you can pick this up for just a few dollars, I would say if you're into soundscapey stuff, might very well be worth picking up, if only to have just another source of interesting sounds to put in the background of your tracks or productions. So that's Felicity by Rigid Audio. If there are any questions, you can drop them down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you around.